For this lesson, we're going to be looking at simplifying fractions. And equivalent fractions have the same value. So an equivalent fraction would be something like 1/2 and 5/10. Those are equivalent. They equal the same thing. They have the same value. Or another example would be like 3/4 is equal to 6/8. Those have the exact same value. Well, when we find simplest form, we're finding the greatest common factor of the numerator, and we need that the denominator is 1. So that is the greatest common factor between both of those when I find between my numerator and my denominator. So let's look at the following. I know that I have 6/24 and I want to simplify that. Well, the greatest common factor of 6 is 6 and 24. So I'm going to divide by 6 on my numerator and my denominator. I could even divide by 2 until I can't go further. So 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 24 divided by 6 is 1/4. And so now to check if it's in simplest form, I'm going to look at my definition. So the greatest common factor between my numerator and denominator is 1. So if I list the factors out of 1, I would get 1. And if I list the factors out of 2 or 4, I would get 1, 2, and 4. And so those are actually the only greatest common factor is 1, so I hit 1/4. Let's take a look at the next example. I have 36 over 45. So I can't really think of a number that's going to be able to divide that would be perfect like the one on top. So I'm just going to divide by 3 on both. And when I divide by 3, I get 12/15. And now I know that 3 is another factor. So when I do that, I get 4/5. And the greatest common factor between 4 and 5, my numerator and denominator, is 1. So 36/45 equals 4/5. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two on your own. So for the top one, I'm going to divide by 7 because 7 is a factor of both of the numbers, and I'm going to get 1/4, and that's in simplest form. And for my bottom one, I'm going to just divide by 2 this time, and I get 4/10, and I see that 2 is another factor of 4/10, so I can divide by 2 again to get 2/5. And you very well could have seen that 8/20 could have been divided by 4 right away because 4 was a common factor of 8 and 20. And when I do that, I still get 2/5. So I have 2 different ways of finding the simplest form. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two on your own. So for 27/36, the first thing I want to divide by is I'll divide by 3. And I'm going to get 9/12. And I can divide by 3 again. And I still get 3/4. And for 10/16, I'll go ahead and divide by 2 to get 5/8. And I can't go any further, and they're both in simplest form, and so I'm finished.